Rashad, why you didn't
Anyways,
hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother. Trump lead
What's up,
any
Rashad? What it do, boy?
We rocking
Hey,
around the
Rashad.
world.
Confederate. A Confederate group is suing a Georgia state park, claiming officials broken state law by planning a quote unquote truth telling exhibit exploring the ties to slavery and segregation. So they're like, yo, y'all not getting out the truth. We're not going to let that happen. This is written by Angela Burt Murray. This is from Capital B News. Shout out to Capital B News. Most weekends within the shadows of its controversial history, Stone Mountain Park is teeming with a diverse group of attendees. Located just east of Atlanta, Black women gathered to power walk along the winding trails, while others climbed to jog the rocky path to the top of the Confederate Memorial in the 3,200-acre park. Billed as the largest Confederate monument in the country, the stone carvings first etched into the mountain in 1915 featured Confederate President Jefferson Davis and Generals Robert E. Lee and Thomas Stonewall Jackson. But the racial justice reckoning that began to take place in the country in 2020 after the police killings of George Floyd spurred the Stone Mountain Memorial Association to vote in 2021 to remove Confederate flags from a popular walking trail and build a quote-unquote truth-telling exhibit to reflect the site's role in the rebirth of the Ku Klux Klan. Bro, you go to the Marietta Square. Hey, if you in Georgia, I'm from Marietta, right? You go to the Marietta Square or Stone Mountain on the right day, the KKK gonna hang you out some pamphlets. I'm so serious, bro. Metro Atlanta, these are cities just outside of Atlanta, dog. If you go to Stone Mountain on the right day, if you go to the Marietta Square on the right day, KKK gonna hang you some pamphlets. Because in the middle of the Marietta Square, where I'm from, on the stage where they had me performing in chorus in elementary school and in band in middle and high school and things of that sort, on that stage in the middle of the Marietta Square, that's where they auctioned off slaves. Exact same design and everything. Never redesigned it, never tore it down. And you know what they call it? The historic Marietta Square. Ain't that something? And then right in the same area, they have plantations, not plantations, but like slave homes. You can tell they're slave homes. They're like really old and stuff like that. That's where I went to school. That's where I grew up. That's where I walked. Crazy. Georgia is insane. The South is insane. With an $11 million budget allocated by the Georgia General Assembly in 2023, the Stone Mountain Memorial Association enlisted Warner Museums to design a truth-telling center. The interpretive themes developed for Stone Mountain will explore how the collective memory created by Southerners in response to the real and imagined threats to the very foundation of Southern society, the institution of slavery by westward expansion, a destructive war, and eventually military defeat, was fertile ground for the development of the Lost Cause movement amidst the social and economic disruptions that followed. That exhibit proposal says, but their proposal, with the stated purpose of removing Confederate symbols, contextualizing the Confederacy, and attracting new attendees, came under fire last week. The Georgia Division of the Sons of Confederate Veterans filed a lawsuit last Tuesday against the park, saying officials broke state law by planning an exhibit exploring ties to slavery, segregation, and white supremacy, according to the Associated Press. Georgia Law 53C, 531B3 states no publicly owned monument on property owned by the state of Georgia can be relocated, removed, or hidden. Georgia Mandate 1213 192.1 also states that the purpose of the Stone Mountain Memorial Association is to quote unquote maintain an appropriate and suitable memory for the Confederacy. Both passed in 2019. Controversies are also brewing at the state parks across the country. Capital B reported last week on a new effort to include signage with QR codes at the National Park Service sites, asking visitors to report information they come across that could be considered quote unquote negative, either about the past or living Americans. The intent is to carry out President Donald Trump's quote unquote restoring truth and sanity to American history executive order targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion. The order that came from Interior Secretary Doug Burgum calls for a review of quote unquote any public monuments, memorial statues, markers, or similar properties that have been removed or changed from January 1st, 2020 through this date of the order. There's been no word on whether Trump's efforts will impact Stone Mountains Memorial Association's plans to move forward with the Truth Telling Center. And that is that. Much shorter than the last one, right? Much shorter than the last one. But yeah. Let me see. Suing Charleston, why it's useless. Suing someone with the vocal platform that's big, the damage is already done 100%. Can you be pro-American or America first and be pro-Confederacy? That's kind of a contradiction to me. Yeah. This is a good point, SSB. Good point, SSB, because it's like, if we, if American is like, oh, freedom for all and this and that, and you like, no, freedom for us. It's kind of a contradiction there. It's a thing, man. Like, people, oh, you make everything about race. This is that. If you knew just half of the things that I've dealt with growing up in Georgia, in the South, in the deep South, you would understand. But you can't understand because that isn't the upbringing that you had. That wasn't your reality. So, of course, your reality is going to be like, what are they talking about? They're making up stuff. I have black fatigue. Anyways, this is something. This is something to look forward. Keep an eye out on the next 4 years. Keep an eye out on what happens to the MLK statue in DC, Nathan. What happens to these statues, to these monuments? Our kids in 50 years going to know who Martin Luther King Jr. is. Our kids in 5 years going to know who Martin Luther King Jr. is. These are things, man. These are things, brother. All right.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.